Well, for many, this is the proper start of the road racing season. Hello and welcome. The Flanders Classics begin. This is what they have. They head south into a sort of a cross headwind, and then the goal gets complicated. They've got two separate circuits to do. It'll all add up to, as I say, 13 different bergs, short climbs. We pick up the live pictures out on the road. The riders left Ghent this morning in fairly balmy conditions, a little bit overcast, but temperatures up around 10, 11 degrees centigrade, so it's as good as it gets really in this part of the world. And since then, a group of 4 riders took their leave of the peloton, opened up maximum advantage of well over 12 minutes. Indeed, the peloton were promenading, and well, they had to stop the women's race because they were looking like they were going to catch the men's World Tour event. So,
oh, that's a big crash coming out of that corner there,
and towards the front as well, and that has definitely cost 1 or 2 riders dear. Steen Vandenberg is staying close to the front, just running in second place.
Although it's a dangerous group and a reasonably big group that's gone off the road, I don't think this is the end of the race. This is not the race-winning move. There's still too many big names, too many big riders sat in the main peloton.
And Matteo Trentin, as we've said, is going very well indeed, and pretty short odds.
Oh, big crash down the back.
Big crash at the back of the group, and well, riders pretty sore and having to pick themselves up off the ground. That's not exactly an ideal situation. Jasper Philipsen looks like he's hit the deck for UAE Team Emirates. We've got some big names have made it into this group, including Greg Van Avermaet, Tim Wellens is in there, Daniel Oss, Yves Lampaert. Make a list. Some of the really big riders in this event, and that's physically and metaphorically, not just in terms of stature as well as palmares. These riders are starting to stamp their authority on the event. And it's a good time to show the legs, isn't it, as Greg Van Avermaet looks to try and make it a 3rd victory in this event. Looks around to see Matteo Trentin in fine form. The wind blows them into echelon formation. 1 or 2 riders
sounded like something, like there was a minor crash or something in that corner.
Yeah, I heard a squeal of brakes and just not the right kind of sounds there.
Yeah.
Inside 30 kilometers remaining in Het Nieuwsblad 2019, and there you have it. Thijs Benoot was the rider who came to grief. We did hear it, we didn't get to see it. Thijs Benoot finds himself Lotto Soudal's favourite rider. Well, it's now down to Tim Wellens, really, isn't it? Well, there you have it. There's the profile. It really steps up just before they reach the church, and Dylan Teuns is not enjoying this in the red of Bahrain Merida. It's the man in blue at the front, the Czech rider, Zdeněk Štibar, that stumps on the pedals. He wants to stamp his authority on the others. Daniel Oss behind, lets the wheel go a little bit. Greg Van Avermaet's going to have to cover this one. Teuns tries to recover. Tim Wellens not quite showing, or is he just trying to find the gear and find his rhythm on this one? Tough to get a rhythm. Here comes Gilbert Terpstra for the first time this afternoon. We haven't seen him. He's certainly kept his powder dry. Bob Youngle's starting to drop back a little bit.
This is the steep part here now, 20% up here.
Here comes Greg Van Avermaet in the orange of CCC. Stibar's right with him, and Lutsenko tries to cover that one, but he's having to come from the back of the group. Wellens tries to hang on. Teuns showing more than you might have expected. Daniel Oss has come to a grinding halt on the moor, as here comes across, trying to make it across, but will he make it in time? Terpstra, followed by Gilbert. Oliver Nassen is there, and it is, as I suspected, Dylan Van Baarle is there for Team Sky as well.
Yeah, what a move there from Gilbert and Terpstra, who are on their way up here now. And can they bridge this? Daniel's definitely struggling today.
Well, bad news for Bora Hansgrohe. They had 2 at one stage. They'd Jeppe Drucker and Daniel Oss. They've lost both of those riders. There's riders coming up from behind. Terpstra wants to try and close this one down. Matthews is still in there. And hoping, there's Drucker at the back. He was in the front group, and now he's trying to hang on to Group 2 and hope it all comes together. Could well do.
Yeah, could definitely well do, but this is really going to blow open, wide open as they get across the top here now, down onto the flats between the Muur and the Bosberg. Still got one more climb to go, and that one is the Bosberg. It's 980 meters long with an average of 6% on cobblestones, and the steepest part is 11%. It's such a difficult climb as well.
Well, the Bosberg is a cruel, cruel climb, isn't it? with almost 200 kilometers in their legs. Here comes Van Avermaet. He's really trying to make them suffer. Van Avermaet knows he needs to try and clear a couple of riders out here. Stybar is desperately trying to fight his way onto the wheel. Lutsenko's equal to it at the moment. Dylan Teuns is hanging on too, but this is a full-blooded attack from Greg Van Avermaet, 2 times the winner of this event. Wellens is suffering. Is he being distanced? I think he is. So it's Stybar and Van Avermaet. Lutsenko needs to find something to get back on terms.
Crucial moment of this is going to come over the top here now. Has any of them got the legs to carry it on over the top? Because as he flattens out here now, this is where you make the big tempo change and you create that gap.
Across and onto the smooth tarmac, and it's a welcome relief for the riders over the cobbles. Oss is surely going to be caught from behind. Durbridge still got a bit of daylight between himself and the rest, with Van Baarle leading that group. That was once the peloton. It's far from that. There's not too many riders still with the energy to even contemplate an attack. Tim Wellens surely knows he needs to go long. Fifth won't suit him. Just laying off the back a little bit. Change gear, and you could well see that's the if you've got a little bit of momentum by the time you arrive alongside your other riders, that's the perfect way to attack.
Yeah.
Behind, well, they've got work to do. Starting to ride around, little promenade, little take you for a dance from one side of the road to the other from Dylan Teuns. That's not the way to play it. Here comes from Wellens. Going to go on the other side of the road. Tim Wellens launches. We knew it was coming, and they knew it was coming, and he took that chance. On the other side of the road as Greg Van Avermaet tries to respond. Looks like he's all over that one, and Greg Van Avermaet crawls all over the back of Tim Wellens' wheel like a cheap suit. Wellens will persevere to see is anyone going to get dropped. Doesn't look like that one worked.
I think that Van Avermaet wants this a little bit too bad, and here goes
Stybar on the counter, and it's all about who comes the one after. Greg Van Avermaet has to cover everything. They know he's got the sprint. Stybar not trusting to his gallop. They're going to look at Greg Van Avermaet to close it. Wellens tried his attack a moment ago, so someone else on the road furniture prevented anyone else from chasing it down. It's Lutsenko knows that he's got to cover this one. Stybar has the bit of space, but can Lutsenko get the gap on the rest? Greg Van Avermaet has covered a couple and now finds himself just trying to get on terms with Alexei Lutsenko. Stybar has daylight.
Yeah, I think Van Avermaet is doing too much work here now. He needs to play this a little bit cooler, but Stybar is riding away. And now that Van Avermaet is back onto Lutsenko, Lutsenko's not going to want to go full gas to chase Stybar down just to set Greg Van Avermaet up for the sprint, basically.
That's good news for Stybar, because Lutsenko has been crowded out of it by Greg Van Avermaet. They stall. Who's going to respond next? I'm not sure Teuns has the legs to do it. Wellens has tried his one card, I think, and they're going to look at Greg Van Avermaet, the premier sprinter in this group, to try and close it down to Zdeněk Stybar. Stybar might have been minded to trust his own sprint, but he hasn't done so much sprinting lately, has he? And he knows how good Greg Van Avermaet is. He knows the form he's in. He knew that the counter was the way to play it. De Koning, well, they love the spring classics. Don't always come to this one in flying form, but Zdeněk Stybar is chasing clear and looking good at the moment.
He certainly is looking good, but like I said, I think Greg Van Avermaet was just too keen on those first two moves and went too deep to cover them, and that set Stybar up perfectly, and he's now got just over a kilometre to go to the finish.
Up over this railway bridge, inside and under the kite, as Teuns has set up an opportunity for the next one, but nobody counters.
We're looking at almost playing for second place here now, and they've got to watch out what's coming from behind. They're becoming very, very quickly indeed.
Van Avermaet is given an opportunity to at least think about it. Wellens covers, and Van Avermaet is a rider who's not concerned about finishing second. At his level, he doesn't think about those things. He thinks only about victory. And victory is headed off up the road, because Zdeněk Stybar of the Czech Republic, of the De Koning Quick Step squad, is in the barriers and well inside the final kilometre as he winds his way through the final couple of turns. The rest behind, well, it's going to be a 4-up gallop for second place, because Zdeněk Stybar is going to take victory in the 74th edition of Het Nieuwsblad and open the Spring Classics account for the De Koning Quick Step squad. It's a popular success, a Czech rider, but he's on the local team. He's a cyclocross superstar, and they do like their cyclocross riders. And Zdeněk Stybar has rolled through to take victory. He's going to enjoy this one, milk it all the way to the line. Zdeněk Stybar is the winner of Het Nieuwsblad 2019. Well, behind, Greg Van Avermaet lights it up and is going to get across the line to win the sprint. Top 10 dominated by the Belgian flag, but it was the Czech Republic's colours to the fore as Stibar finishes beautifully.